This is a series where I am designing rooms around the world with only thrifted items from Facebook Marketplace. On my last video, I got a ton of people asking for Philadelphia. So I'm starting with this one, office, struggling to blend modern with vintage. So this woman has a desk very similar to this desk here, and I get it. It's kind of hard to start creating a room with pieces that feel not aesthetically pleasing or just, like, very functional and that you can't really, like, do without. And so my, like, biggest piece of advice here is to embrace the style that it's in and or find an adjacent style that can work well with that piece. For example, like, if you have a super 50s bathroom, instead of, like, adding pieces that clash with that style, try to embrace that style, add pieces that could fit into that era but are pleasing to you. So in this example, right, is like we have this desk here. Like, what era or style could we blend into this or color palette even to make it feel cooler? And I immediately thought of like postmodern, either 80s or even going into like the 90s and started there. This by no means is like a postmodern design office, but that was the starting point that helped me then pick out a rug, accessories, and pieces that could make this office space feel like a cool place to be since you're going to be there for like probably 8 hours of your day every day. Let's go piece by piece. This is the type of desk that she has and is starting with. She probably already has an office chair that she uses, but if not, finding something that also is pretty functional but matches the desk, I think is an easy place to start. Assuming you are standing when your desk is tall, this chair could work too. We're staying super functional with the space. You have to have some sort of enclosed storage to put all the messy computer stuff or whatever goes in your office away and out of sight. That's what this cabinet is. Great lamp. I like the white pleated shade. It matches the desk and the chair, and I'm really into this light blue base. Another lamp that matches perfectly. It has a little bit more of that like a retro postmodern vibe to it. A little bit more on the spendier side, but I really like the shape of this chair. And I like that the tone is a little bit more neutral and muted. Means it's not gonna like contrast in shape or color a ton from the more contemporary pieces that you have in your like officey furniture. So it's like there weren't a ton of rug options, but I liked this one. One, because the color palette was pretty simple. It also was like cozy. It brings in that white and then layering it with this bigger piece. Here's where we have a lot of fun. Now, again, this is not going to be everyone's taste, but this piece of art to me, this is amazing. This is how I feel sometimes in my workday when my workday is just getting ahead of me and I'm just like, what? There is an estate sale this weekend that has a bunch of art, including this set, which I think is really cool. And I like that this blue set of handmade art will match in and tie in with that blue lamp we have. You'll notice that I didn't bring in a ton of earth and wood elements because I naturally, when I think of amazing vintage furniture, I think of like great wood furniture. But that type of furniture does tend to really clash with the more contemporary functional desk piece and style that you have. But I think you can get away with a bit of a wood mirror. I like that it has this like curvy shape around the mirror that I feel like is a nod to the more contemporary style of the furniture that you have in a cool, fun way. I think it works, and I think it also will help balance out the deep brown of the rug. The cool thing about pothos is that you don't have to re-pot them. You can just leave them sitting in water forever. And I like these ones because I have this plant in my home and it has little sparklies in it. If you have room for a bigger plant, this is another really easy one to take care of. Pothos don't need a ton of light. Gotta have the clean air in the office, optimal brain function. This doesn't really go with the vibe of the office, but it's a really cool piece if it ends up matching other things that you are finding for your space. This is a vintage mid-century blanket slash wall hanging. Really cool. If you need additional shelf space, I think these are a good option. They have that silver bracketing. It's also white that ties in with your chair and desk. I wouldn't stray super, super far with the style of vintage furniture unless it plays into the similar color palette you already have going. These I would set up stack them on your wall, and use them as a bookshelf. Okay, so that is how I would thrift for an office, starting with one of these basic desks to add character, blend in that more contemporary functional furniture piece with vintage pieces that have a lot more character, storytelling, a vibe. You know what I mean? I hope you like some of these pieces. I had fun with it. It's a little bit of a challenge, but once I got my mind going on how I would approach this for my own house, I feel like it clicked together well.